we the only two?
We are right now. How are you?
I'm going to grab you while I can. I am looking at my mailer, right? We've got this Pipedrive, and I'm struggling. I want the send in blue like you're using,
Yeah.
but the integration is so clumsy. And Pipedrive has got the campaign emailing, but it's pretty rudimentary, right?
Well, I didn't want pipe drives simply because, they charge per contact, and I have a lot of contacts, and I don't want to be paying per subscriber or whatever, for email blasts that I might send out once every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
I mean, I think for me, so I can show you real quickly something that it's called make.com. It's like
So it's
Zapier.
not the Zapier, it's the Make, and I'd forgotten that, and I need to check that out.
I can show you.
Okay.
Let me log in and I'll share my screen real quick and show you something that's kind of a cool little process that's working right now. Oops, gotta sign in.
Technology is wonderful, but boy, is it time consuming.
It is, but once it's set up, man, once it's set up, it's pretty cool.
It is. I did discover what you said about the amount of contacts. I tried it. I did the trial on and I've immediately hit the limit. I thought, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets super expensive very quickly for no reason, and that's the thing. So I'll show you. Let me share my screen real quickly, and I'll just show you a scenario that I set up that's working currently.
Okay.
For a project that we have. Can you see my screen?
I do see it.
Okay. So this scenario, so we have this thing called Project Ocean Sport, and basically we send out from Send in Blue. We send out we imported a list into Send in Blue, and then sent to the entire list. And there was, I don't know, a couple thousand. And then I set up in Send in Blue, I also set up a form so that if they wanted to request an NDA, they would then fill out that form and it would add them into a separate list, an NDA requested list. And then I have it integrated here so that from Send in Blue, anytime something is added, or I guess this checks the list, right? This in Send in Blue, the NDA requested list. If it finds anything, it automatically creates an organization in Pipedrive. Then it creates the person in Pipedrive. Then it creates a deal in Pipedrive. Then it sends an email to me and to my associate, John, just says an NDA was requested. And then it updates the contact in Send in Blue to say, yes, the contact, the NDA was requested. So this whole thing runs like I have it running once every hour.
Okay.
This whole process. So anybody that requests an NDA automatically gets picked up in here and added into Pipedrive for me. So I don't have to touch Pipedrive. I don't have to add them as a person, a contact. And then it sets them up as a deal, which I might change that later on. I'm having, within Pipedrive, I really need to figure out deals versus leads, how I want to handle them.
Right.
And I haven't quite figured that out yet. So anyhow, stop sharing.
Once you figure that out, tell me.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is probably get a Pipedrive, one of their consultants or even just get onto one of their webinars or something where and talk to them about how best to configure it for what we do, and because let's face it, what we do is different. We're not selling a bunch of products. Like we're not selling garage doors. We're not selling, products where we have leads that come in and everybody's looking for the same thing. We have actually different types of leads because we have seller leads where they're wanting to potentially sell their business. And then once we have a business that we're marketing, that is essentially our product, right? That we're selling. Does it make sense to set it up as a product? I don't know. Because you've got like you've only got one business to sell. It's not like you have 100 of that product. So, your standard CRMs aren't really designed for what we do, but it's possible to customize them to make them very efficient for what we do. So
Alan's on the call here, I see, and he's with me on the same journey of finding an email. He wasn't there to hear my derogatory remarks or yours regarding Pipedrive's a campaign program. It's very expensive. And per lead. And I've already hit the limit and I haven't done anything yet.
Right.
So the other question, I guess, would be, I don't mean to take everyone out of our conversation here, but I think we all kind of will run into this sooner or later. Zaps are tasks, right? And they charge you, they give you so many tasks, and then they start charging you. Does Make do the same thing? Do they have that sort of pricing component?
Yeah, they do. Make is like, Make charges per like operations. So in that scenario that I showed you, every one of those things is an operation. And so it seems to me it's like $9 for 10,000 operations a month or something like that. I mean, it's not very expensive. And again, that operation. So if that's 6 operations in that one scenario, and I have that running once every hour, then in 24 hours, it's using X numbers of operations. I mean, you can do the math on that, but nonetheless, it's definitely worth it, because otherwise I have to, somebody requests an NDA, I have to add them into Pipedrive as a contact. When I add them in as a contact, I add their company name. It's going to create the organization. It's going to do all that automatically, right?
Got it.
But if I can have Make do it instead, so that it's just already in there, and I also have it adding tags on there to the contact, so that the contact is being tagged as that, Project Ocean Sport NDA requested. So I have that as a tag that's being added to their record. So I know that that's already done. So, it's very flexible. You can set that up to do all kinds of things.
Yeah. Good to know. Well, I'm going to look at Make because it doesn't do drip. The campaign, we need a drip campaign too, where if someone does get an NDA, you want it on the backside to contact them again somehow, maybe down the road 3 or 4 days or 5 days or something,
Right. And what you can do is through Make, so if they're coming in, or however you set it up, I mean, you could set it up so that when you add a contact into Pipedrive, it automatically through Make adds them into a drip campaign over in Sendinblue.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can tie all of these different systems together to do different tasks. You just have to think about what you want done and the progression of things, and then you can set it up. So in Make, you can have, multiple scenarios. I think they'll give you 2 scenarios free and 1,000 operations free in a trial run.
Okay.
And so those 2, your 2 scenarios is like, if all you're having to do is take a contact that you add into Pipedrive and automatically add that into a list and Sendinblue, then you've got kind of an operation that's going to have 2 steps that's going to run once an hour or whatever. You're not going to hit too many operations there, right?
Well, Zapier is not as user-friendly as from what I can see, what you did. It's fairly user-friendly, but it's.
Yeah, I've used Zapier before, and I just like the interface with Make better. And I just thought it was going to be, it's more of a visual interface, and it's it is a little more user friendly, so a little more flexible.
Thank you.
But